Hello and welcome to the State of the Mets. I'm Andrew Vazano of theRopolitans.com, and this is my weekly web show all about the New York Mets.
And it's out of here!
So let's take a look at this young season so far for the New York Mets. They're 9 games in, they're 4-5, 1 game under 500, heading into a 3-game series at home against the Milwaukee Brewers. And I know 9 games isn't enough to say, this team's going to be a playoff contender or this team's going to win the World Series, but it is something, and these games do count, so they are all hopefully playing their hearts out. But the team has looked inconsistent on defense, inconsistent at the plate, and inconsistent on the pitching mound. 2 costly errors, one by Ryan Church, one by Daniel Murphy, eventually led to runs being scored by the other team and led to a Mets loss. So Jerry Manuel has had the team out there, taking fly balls, taking ground balls, working on picking up the bunt, throwing it to first base, things like that, things you like to see, but you really don't want an error or, a game-costing error to make those necessary. But, that's what happened, and the Mets must focus on their defense. They've looked inconsistent on the pitching mound. You really don't know what you're going to get out of the pitchers every day, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And at the plate, David Wright's been looking kind of coming off with his shoulder a little too early, but he does have an 8-9 game hitting streak, so he's been hitting this season. He has a hit in every game so far, but you wouldn't hear it by listening to Mets fans. Carlos Delgado has looked very good at the plate so far. He's really hitting the ball hard. He bridged a shot last night against Jake Peavy, which and add that on to the 2 other home runs he has so far. Here he has 3 home runs so far this season. He's looked really good at the plate, and he's really driving the ball far once he gets a hold of it. So inconsistency has been the word so far for the Mets. They really need to start playing tighter defense. They really need to start hitting in the clutch with runners in scoring position. They've left way too many runners on base so far, and their pitching, which we're going to talk about right now, needs to be improved.
And it's out of here!
Next up, we have the starting pitching and the bullpen. Starting pitching so far, Johan Santana has been all that we've expected and more. He's pitched lights out. Unfortunately, he's only 1-1 on the season. He got outdueled by Josh Johnson against the Florida Marlins last weekend. But Mike Pelfrey looks like he has forearm tendonitis, may or may not miss a start. I've heard one report saying he will. Nelson Figueroa was pulled from his start in AAA Buffalo after only 2 innings, so a roster change might be coming. If Pelfrey does not go on the disabled list, Darren O'Day would likely lose his roster spot and would have to be offered back to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim since he is a Rule 5 draft pick. Figueroa would be nice to come up. He can make the starts for you if you need him. He could also be a long man out of the bullpen, give you 2 innings, give you 3 innings if needed. And that's been a problem because the starting pitching has just not gone deep enough into games. 5 innings, maybe 6 innings if we're lucky. So the bullpen's been overused. Oliver Perez and John Maine, you don't know what you're going to get with either of those guys anymore. Oliver Perez, we kind of know that. We're used to the roller coaster type season he's going to have. But John Maine, you're looking for more consistency as he comes back from his shoulder surgery. His first start was very good, two home runs. Those were the only 2 hits he gave up. Last night against the Padres, he looked good for the first 2 innings, and then he hit a wall, gave up a 5 spot in the 3rd, and he struggled with control a lot in the 3rd inning, so it's something to look for. And Livan Hernandez goes tonight against the Brewers. He looked great in his first start, 7 innings, the first guy to go into the 7th inning for the Mets. So, you don't really want to rely on your 5th starter, but if Hernandez can go out, give you 7 innings, maybe give up only 3 runs, 4 runs, that's probably a positive start for you. The Mets' bats need to wake up and start giving the team some run support. But overall, the team pitching needs to get more consistent. The starters need to go deeper into the game. The bullpen's been pretty good so far. You can't complain about them. They're just being overused. And if the Mets want to make it to the playoffs, and if they want to go deep into the playoffs, the bullpen needs to be solid. And being overworked is not going to help that situation.
And it's out of here!
And finally, we'll talk some improvements that the Mets will make over the next few weeks. Obviously, the starting pitching is going to improve. There's really no doubt about it. It's just been so bad that there's really only one way to go, is up. They haven't been awful, but some of the pitchers are barely getting through 5 innings, and that's obviously going to change. But it is tough starting a season where you maybe only throw 1 or 2 games with 100 pitches during the spring, and now you're asked to do it every 5 days. So that definitely will improve as they get more good games under their belt and kind of shake off any lasting rust. Also, I think the defense is going to improve. They've just kind of had some bad breaks so far, and the more and more they take reps in pre-games, they will improve. Obviously, I just think it's been some bad luck, and the string of errors has really been highlighted as they got off to a sluggish start so far in 2009. And also, I think the running and scoring position hitting will improve. So far, it's been not very good. They've left way too many runners on base, which was a problem all of last year. So that again, only has one way to go, but up. They really can't get much worse without losing 20 games in a row. So as the season wears on in this young season so far, they all those things definitely will improve as they shake off any possible lingering effects of spring training and the WBC or anything like that. So the team really is built to win. It's a very good team. They definitely have a chance to win their division this year. So as the season, sort of gets into the daily grind of everything, I think that all of those things will improve, and the Mets will actually start winning more baseball games than you've seen so far in 2009. So that's it for the State of the Mets. I am Andrew Vazano of TheRopolitans.com. Livan Hernandez faces off against the Milwaukee Brewers tonight in the first of a 3-game series. So enjoy. The game starts at 7:10 and will be on SNY. So enjoy, and let's go Mets.
The ball, knocking those